Hey, family. Wanted to just do a quick update on the community that I am creating for you. So, one of the things I promised to share is what tools or what platforms I am considering for the community. So, I'm going to walk through the three choices or the three finalists that I came down to, and then give you some insight into who I chose and why. So, really quickly, let's jump into the first one. This is Slack. If you're not familiar with Slack, it is a great communication tool. I use Slack every day with my clients, with team members, with freelancers, and Slack is it's nice because it allows you to have channels of communication. You can keep things organized. You can have direct messages. You can integrate with other platforms like Asana or Dropbox or Google Drive and all of that good stuff. Um, and you can make things private. Now they have calls, so you can do that. If you want to have a voice or video call within Slack. I'm part of a lot of online course communities that use Slack, and it tends to go pretty well. And I'll come back to what doesn't work very well in Slack in a moment. But Slack was my first choice when I thought about creating a community. My second choice was a platform called Palapa. Now, this is not as well known. If you're familiar with Corbett Barr from Fizzle.co, he and the team at Fizzle created their own platform, their own forum software to run Fizzle. They're great at building community at Fizzle. And so they took the features that they needed and then turned it into a product. So this is Palapa. Quick run through of the good stuff with Palapa. Number one, it allows you to really see what is happening and to engage and see the conversations. It also allows you to see who's really active and who recently posted something. So you can just kind of stay in touch with those people, right? You can set up kind of badges to reward participation. You can see who are the people who are engaged and who are not. And then your members can create profiles, all of that good stuff. The other nice thing, if you want to see just a quick snapshot of what Palapa looks like, here is a screenshot. It's almost the best of both worlds between a traditional forum software and Slack. So you can set up topics or channels just like you can with Slack, where those particular areas only focus on that topic. And you can have that in the sidebar, really easy to access. You can also send direct messages. You can see which members are online, send direct messages. But then you get this forum aspect where you can see the most recent posts pop up right in the main part of your screen. So you can jump into the conversations and it doesn't get lost like things can in Slack. And then you're also able to quickly see who's online, who's posted recently, who's been really active the past week. Yeah. The other thing I like about Palapa is that you can link to your courses right in the upper left hand side. So you can see in this example, there's a link to courses, or you could link to your coaching services. Basically, you can set up your own links for this section. So that is Palapa if you're not familiar with them. And then the third option, my third choice, was Mighty Networks. So Mighty Networks, I admit that I was not super familiar with them. But Mighty Networks is kind of cool because it allows you to have a membership site. You can also just use it for community. You can also use it for courses. And it looks like you can build a website on it, which I know nothing about. So I'm not even gonna speak to that. But there's a lot of different things that you can do community wise, and they have a mobile app. So really you can connect with your members wherever they are. Okay, so what didn't I like and what didn't I choose, more importantly? I decided not to go with Slack because honestly, Slack can feel overwhelming and it can still be distracting if there's a lot of channels and conversations, it's hard to keep up. You end up in just like notification hell sometimes with Slack. In fact, mostly I keep Slack notifications off because it can just be nonstop. Every single every single post is a notification. So I didn't necessarily want to deal with that. The other thing is, although Slack has voice and video calls, they aren't always the best quality. And there's no easy way to have resources within Slack. You can link to things, but ultimately it's going to take you outside of Slack to see those things. So I decided not to go with Slack for those reasons. Most importantly, I should mention this one, is that everybody doesn't use Slack. So if you're not a big user of Slack, you may not know, oh, let me install the mobile app so that I can stay up to date. And you may get disengaged simply because you haven't installed the app. Slack also is just, it requires more orientation for people who aren't familiar with it. So I wanted something that could be easy to use just right out the gate. So Slack, gone. Palapa. Palapa has everything that I want for a community. It has the channels or topics. It has the ability to add links. It has the engagement of seeing which members are active and who's posting. And it also has that nice forum capability to have threaded conversations almost, but so that everything doesn't get all mixed up like it does in Slack. But Palapa does not have an easy way to charge for access. You would have to set up a landing page on a third-party provider and integrate with Stripe or PayPal, and then set up an automation that's going to add people or manually add people. I didn't want to do all of that. You know, at this point, I really wanted it to be easier. I didn't want to have to pay for two different solutions to make them talk to each other. So that was the thing that killed Palapa for me. Other than that, it is great. So if you're launching a free community, I definitely would consider checking out Palapa. It's new. There's going to be more features coming. So Palapa, gone. And that left me with Mighty Networks. So Mighty Networks is the platform that I'm going to go with for the community. And let's take a look at why. So the reason I decided to go with Mighty Networks, I'm logged into just a demo. This is not what the community is going to be called. So I'm logged into a demo that I set up just to get a feel for Mighty Networks. And what I like about it is I can set up a few things that are going to be central to this community. One, the ability to have topics, right? That's so important so that people can we can organize the conversations. But also, I love that you can see who's online right now. You've got this nice green icon, so you can just have a conversation with people. The other thing that I like is you can ultimately set up small groups. So you can use that for mastermind groups, which is what I intend to do. So let's just hop in and look at some of the features. So I can create posts here. So we can have some evergreen posts or sticky posts that allow members to see and jump in and see those every single time they come to the post page. And even on this page, you can still see the topics that I have set up. So let's take a look at those topics. You can see who's near you, right? You can see where people are at. If we go to the topics, we've got, I set up just some topics to play with so you can make conversation really organized. But ultimately, if we click on if we take a look at some of the premium features here, oops. I'm in the wrong place. Check this. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So if we take a look at some of the premium features, this is really what sealed the deal for me with regards to Mighty Networks. So we can have events, we can set up those member categories so that you can, allow the mastermind group functionality. We can have a getting started or welcome section for orientation. Those features are super important because ultimately this space is going to be about workshops, it's going to be about connecting, it's going to be about groups, conversations, all of that good stuff. So the ability to have events and you can see immediately when the event is happening and register, the ability to set up mastermind groups is super important. And the ability to kind of get for people who are getting started to give them a nice orientation to the space is also super important. So that is why I have decided to go with Mighty Networks. Now, in my next video, I'm going to walk through how I have set up the community. So I'm going to go through and explore Mighty Networks, set it up, and I'll be back to show you what the community will look like on the inside. And yeah, I'm excited. So stay tuned.